Do you like eating pasta? Do you hate having to wait in line for 3 hours at your local Olive Garden just to get a table? Then you're gonna wanna stay tuned for this video where I show you one of my favorite vegan pastas that I love to make all the time. Hey guys, this week I am taking over the channel as your host. It's of course usually Janelle that hosts most of your recipe videos, but she is away on a girls trip right now just for 2 days. And so I've been left home alone, all by myself. I'm gonna show you today one of my favorite dishes that I love to make. Yes, I can actually cook. I'm not just making like craft dinner and like microwavable pizzas and microwavable dinners. I'm actually gonna throw together a dish here for you today. We'll see how it turns out. We don't know. Maybe, you know, it's been a while since I've actually cooked a meal because Janelle's been doing all the cooking. So who knows how this is gonna turn out? It could be a complete disaster. I might burn everything. You just don't know, but you're gonna wanna stay tuned to find out. Do I burn it or don't I burn it today? And how messy am I gonna get in this kitchen? How much of a mess am I gonna make? Is it gonna be a complete disaster with like pasta sauce everywhere and noodles all over the ground? Well, you're gonna wanna stay tuned so you find out just how dirty things get today. This is a really easy pasta to make. It takes me under 45 minutes. Really simple ingredients that you can whip up and throw together. And a lot of the stuff you just dump right in. It's very simple. You grab a pasta sauce, any random vegan gluten-free pasta sauce from the store. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward to make, but the flavors are just so good. You're gonna absolutely love this. It's also an oil-free pasta dish, so I'm gonna use no oil when I'm cooking it, which just reduces the total number of calories. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the ingredients here. So, as you can see, I've got these meatballs. This is a local company called The Very Good Butcher. You might be able to find these if you're in the US. They're not as well known as some of the others like Beyond Meat or Impossible, where you can also get meatballs for those. You can also make your meatballs from scratch. Maybe just grab some ground meat, some Beyond ground meat that's plant-based, and you could roll up your own meatballs. I also love to do that as well and add in some of my own ingredients like dried cranberries and onions and different things. But for today, because we're trying to make this as easy as possible and trying to limit the amount of dishes and everything afterward, as you can see, there's 17 grams of protein per serving. I really like these, they're absolutely delicious. And they're gonna soak up so much of the sauce when we cook them in the pasta sauce. So here are some of the vegetables. Of course, with any good pasta dish, you gotta start off with garlic and onions. So we have those, we have a red pepper, we have a jalapeno, which I love for a little bit of spice, and then we have 2 tomatoes here. I also love mushrooms in my pastas. You can of course omit these if you're not a big mushroom fan. I made this last week without the mushrooms and it was still fantastic. And then I have this pasta sauce, which I picked up from the grocery store, which is vegan and gluten-free. And then back here, we have our pasta noodles. I am absolutely loving these. I grabbed these from Costco. They're a 4-bean pasta noodle. They give you 15 grams of protein per serving. And then of course I have this little glass of water here. That is so that I can make this dish oil-free. So I'm not using any oil to reduce the amount of calories for this dish, and it's still gonna turn out just as flavorful as if you used an olive oil to cook things like your garlic and onions or your meatballs. You don't need the oil for those. So I recommend if you wanna do this oil-free, you just grab a little bit of water, and as you're cooking, you'll pour that in, and I'll show you that later. And then here you see I also have coconut milk, which we'll add into the pasta sauce. It just adds a little extra creaminess. So we're mixing that with that tomato pasta sauce, and we're gonna get something that's really creamy, almost mimicking like a rosé type of sauce. And I'm gonna use this entire can. You only need to use half a can of coconut milk if you want. It's really up to you. I like mine a little bit more creamy, which is why I'm gonna use the whole can for this. So I've broken everything down today into some easy steps for you to follow. So the first step, I like to get the always pan heated up with just a little bit of water in it. This is gonna be for the meatballs. We're gonna cook those for about 8 minutes first. And while the meatballs are cooking, I'm gonna chop up all my veggies and get those all prepped for the sauce for later. So here we go, you can see me throwing the meatballs into the pan here, obviously struggling quite a bit. I'm starting to get angry. So while these are cooking, I'm chopping everything. The first thing I'm chopping would be the garlic and the onion, because after I take the meatballs out, I'm gonna pop the garlic and the onion into the pan when the meatballs are sitting off to the side. Step 2 is throw the garlic and the onion in. We're just gonna cook these until they look a little bit caramelized, so that would take about 5-6 minutes. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna chop some of the other veggies and get those ready. Next up, we're gonna add in that pasta sauce and the coconut milk into the pan. And when I add these in, I'm also gonna add in all my veggies that I've prepped. So that's the mushroom, the jalapeno, the tomato, the red pepper. And we're gonna mix everything together. I'm actually gonna increase the temperature to 7 or 8. And I wanna get things bubbling in the sauce there. And then once it's bubbling, I'm actually gonna turn it down to a simmer. Also, once I've added the veggies into the sauce, it's gonna be about 12 minutes or so until the sauce is at a level that I like. So during this time, I've actually already got my water boiling, ready to go, and I can pop in the pasta noodles, which take about 8 to 10 minutes to cook. Hoping that everything is gonna finish together, because of course, everything's far more romantic when everything finishes perfectly all at the same time, right? Look at that sauce, it is looking so good. It's really coming together. Obviously it's really creamy, but like I said, depending on your pasta sauce that you've bought, you can reduce the amount of coconut milk so it's less creamy. All right, so everything's done here. So I'm gonna strain my pasta noodles. I'm gonna pop those into a bowl and serve myself. And then I'm gonna dump the pasta sauce. I'm gonna start to spoon it out, grab myself some meatballs, put that on top, and serve it into a bowl here. All right, so it's time to enjoy this delicious pasta. I can't wait to show you guys how good it is and my reaction to it. Did I make a big mistake and ruin this, or did it end up being really good? We'll find out right now. So I'm gonna dig in right now and see what this tastes like. There's no like sexy way to eat spaghetti or linguine type pasta. I don't know how Disney made it so sexy, but I want to do my best here for you. I've set the mood here in my house. It feels dark, it feels romantic. I'm all by myself. Sounds a little bit odd to say I'm being romantic by myself, all home alone here. But excited to try out this dish. Let me go in for a big, huge forkful here. You can just see it dripping there. That is so good. So romantic. Fantastic meal to have by yourself. It feels so elegant with all the sauce all over my face and possibly my body. I don't know where it's all dripping to. Can't tell if it's the sweat or the sauce dripping all over my body. But you guys gotta try this dish. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, leave some comments down below. And I mean, I got nothing else to do. So if you leave those comments, I'll of course communicate back and forth with you. You can keep me company tonight as I eat this dish. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day. Bye for now. Oh, that was so gross for you to watch. Oh my God, that's so good. I don't even care if there's sauce all over my face.